And what's going on, everybody, here today on a gloomy Tuesday in South Florida? Today, we're going to talk about flipping houses, and more specifically, flipping houses here in South Florida. You know, with the whole pandemic going on and a bunch of people wondering what they're going to do in 2021, we have to see what the real estate market is like. So far, so good. But there's a lot of changes coming, some good, some bad, some who knows yet. But one thing for sure, flipping houses in South Florida is profitable if you can get the right deal. So as soon as we get back here, we're going to talk about flipping houses in South Florida.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So I got a quick video here from CNBC. And I was shocked to see it the other day. Actually, I think I saw it yesterday. And it's talking about how flipping houses is again picking up steam. And so this video that I'm going to play for you is basically Diana Olick from CNBC. And she's talking about things nationally. And then we'll talk about things here locally. But as always, we'll play the video and we'll make some commentary along the way.
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, home flipping dropped overall in the third quarter of this year, but gross profits for those who did flip soared to the highest level in 20 years, and that's according to Adam Data Solutions.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Home flipping dropped, like everything dropped because of the pandemic, but it's on an upswing, and it's coming back big times. Maybe I don't have to tell you that. You've probably been doing okay. But there's a lot of people out there who are kind of unsure about the market. Everyone has their opinion on things. I don't like to have too much of an opinion. I like to debate people on data. I like to talk to people based upon numbers. And so this is why this video makes so much sense to me.
It tallied that just over 57,000 U.S. homes were flipped in the corner. That's a home that was bought and sold in the same 12-month period. Those flips.
Okay, so her definition of a flip is a house that was bought and sold in a 12-month period. Now, down here in South Florida, we often see homes that have been bought and sold 2 times in a 12-month period. You know, house goes to foreclosure. That house is then auctioned off, and most likely, especially in today's market, the bank takes that house back and they get what's called a certificate of title. That's transaction number 1. Then that bank is going to then put that house up for sale, most likely to an investor. That's sale number 2. Then that investor is not looking to hold onto that property for 6, 7, or 8 months. So they're going to turn around once they renovate it or wholesale it or whatever, and they're going to sell it again. So that's 3 sales. That's actually 3 transactions in the last 30, 45 days. It's not uncommon for us here in South Florida to do title work and look at a property that's been in foreclosure, and you'll be able to see the day it went to auction, and you'll see whether an investor bought it or the bank took it back. And in 10 days or so, you're going to see what's called a CET, which is a certificate of title, which is what the court issues. Once the court issues that certificate of title, the bank now owns the property. Then you're going to see a follow-up. The bank may already have a buyer. It may hit the MLS. Who knows what happens with it once it goes into the REO department. But their job is to liquidate that property. They're not looking to be landlords. They're looking to sell that property. So that property would then be sold. Guys like me. Then once that property is renovated or made turnkey, I would sell it again. So that property, just so you follow along, will have sold 3 times, not in 12 months, 3 times probably in 90 to 120 days. It all depends on how long it takes for the bank to move that asset from basically their inventory to market. So let's go ahead and continue.
Represented just over 5% of all home sales, which is down from nearly 7% in Q2. The drop likely due to the severe shortage of homes for sale, especially on the...
Okay, so what she just said is 5.7% of the homes that are sold to people who are flipping the property. And it's been a drop because of the fact of, well, unless you've been under a rock for the last 12 months, you know why. Inventory has been short, There hasn't been enough properties hitting the market because of the moratoriums that have been in place. And so it hasn't been as prolific as in prior years. But listen to what she says next here.
Lower end of the market where flippers like to play. The median price of a flipped home.
Oh, I got to stop that real quick. The lower end of the market is where flippers like to play. I don't know if you heard that. Let me go ahead and rewind that a little bit so you can hear her say that.
The median price of a flipped home, $240,000. Now, here's the fun part. The gross flippers like to play. The median price of a flipped home, for sale, especially on the lower end of the market where flippers like to play.
Now, that's not necessarily so. When I was cutting my teeth, I was buying homes in war zones. Places where I didn't want to be myself, and I'm a big guy. I didn't want to be there after dark. It was some of these areas were really sketchy, and that was war zone stuff. That was stuff where you got in, maybe you got a house for $40,000 or $50,000. Yes, $40,000 or $50,000 for a house in Fort Lauderdale. We're able to get in, fix it up, sell it, and get out real quick. That was the low end. But now flipping is no longer restricted to low-end property. So that is a big difference between what she's seeing on a national basis and what we're seeing here in South Florida.
The price of a flipped home, $240,000. Now here's...
Yeah, no. So again, that's a national number, $240,000. $240,000 in South Florida, as you may know, is going to get you something in the deepest stretch of the hood. I don't say that with any derogatory intention. I'm just telling you where the house is going to be. A $240,000 house in South Florida is not someplace most of your buyers are going to want to live. Just keep that in mind.
The fun part. The gross profit on the typical flip, that's the difference between what you pay and what you sell for, rose to $73,766. That is up from $61,800 a year ago. Now, this does not include flip.
Okay. I don't know where she gets these numbers, but you can interpolate that here for South Florida. Those of you who have been flipping homes in South Florida understand what the profit basis can be. $73,000 is huge amount of profit on a deal that you're flipping. Huge. It can be done. It's not being done in the $200,000 neighborhoods. But if you're looking at $400,000 or $500,000 house, you most assuredly can see a profit of $73,000, $75,000.
Costs like repairs and renovations that you're going to do. Now, the gross profit was the highest since 2000 and a 44% return on the investment.
Whoa. Highest profit for flipping houses in the last 20 years. That's absolutely huge. That, to me, is more indicative of the market than there being less flips. There's less flips, less inventory, more competition. But if you get that deal, you're seeing a 40% return on your money, and you could be making as much as $73,000 or more on a flip, maybe less. And it's the most money we've seen people make in 20 years. You think it's time to jump in? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now is the time that you need to look at buying. Again, my name is Barry Cunningham. I've been a real estate investor for 20 plus years, looking to do some development deals in the opportunity zones now, especially since Biden's going to be president, and we're going to be looking at some affordable housing deals. Those kind of deals are separate from the flipping and the quick flips. There's less competition in the development area because you're not playing against the big boys. You're not playing against related companies or related group. But there's inner city stuff, vacant land that you can get into and do some developmental stuff as well. However, since we're talking about flipping, get in. It's competitive as hell, but you can make a ton of money.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So let's talk about some other stuff that's going on in the news, shall we? Segue from flipping houses, which we can all talk about. Again, if you're looking to get involved in a deal, please get a hold of me. I'd love to speak to you about getting involved in a deal. Looking for partners, looking for people who are looking to make money, flipping houses and developing real estate here in South Florida. So now I'm going to turn to a story that's got me a little bit pissed off. You see, everybody, well, not everybody, most of you guys know who watch my videos that my wife is a realtor. And we're in some sort of funk here in the country where this wokeism stuff is just driving me nuts. So the National Association of Realtors, let me just bring this up here. The National Association of Realtors has decided that they are going full woke. And when you hear this is just over the top woke. Crazy. So what it says is there's a big move to ban realtor hate speech at work anywhere 24/7. Now, I'm a black guy. I don't want to be called the N-word. I don't want to be spoken of in a second-class person type basis. And I understand there is hate speech that is definitely measurable. But I don't see a guidebook that says what hate speech is. These days, it depends on if you wear a funny-looking red hat or shirt or drive a certain car or live in a certain neighborhood or decide you want to go golfing. You may be engaged in hate speech, because hate speech at this point is based upon the person who's accusing you of being a hateful person. It's that crazy. And now we see the National Association of Realtors jumping into this. And the part that disturbs me is this at work, anywhere, 24/7 label. So what they're saying is, if you're involved in what whoever determines is hate speech, whether you're at work, which, by the way, most realtors are independent contractors, so they're at business, at their own business. They're not at work. It's not a job. It's their business. National Association of Realtors, I would think, would understand that realtors are independent contractors and run their own businesses. But I digress. So in addition to being at your own business, when you're not at your own business, if you're at home, if you're online, if you're in the grocery store, if you're in the gym, if you're doing whatever, they now say 24/7, they're going to come after you. They are now saying that they are going to hold realtors to an unbelievable standard where people are going to be fined if they're considered using hate speech. So you scroll down this article, and it's this policy over here makes sense. It says, under the new policy, real estate agents who insult, threaten, or harass people based on race, sex, or other legally protected characteristics can be investigated, fined, or expelled. Yeah, I'll raise my hand. I agree with that. But that's not where it ends. That's not where it ends at all. And what they're saying here is, and I hope you guys can see this, I'm going to blow it up a little bit so you can see it even better. Okay. The sweeping prohibition applies to association members 24/7. 24/7. Covering all communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and offline. Punishment could top out at a maximum fine of $15,000 and expulsion from the National Association of Realtors. Now, I'm going to tell you something here, and this is where it gets really squirrely. You have an organization with millions of people, different nationalities, different ethnicities, male, female, other, all in this umbrella of the National Association of Realtors. And now what they're saying is 24/7. If you're accused of being a hate monger, anywhere, anytime, you could be fined $15,000 or booted out of the National Association of Realtors. I'm just going to talk about one problem people could have. What if on Sundays you are a devout worshiper of any religion and someone doesn't like the way you worship? Someone doesn't like that you even go to church. Someone doesn't like that you're singing without a mask on. Someone thinks if they find out that you didn't wear a mask at church, they can squeal on you. Someone thinks that if you're donating money at church for a cause that your church is getting behind, you're contributing to hate speech. Oh, this sounds weird, doesn't it? Sound crazy? No. Read what they said. It says 24/7 covering all communication, private and professional, written and spoken or sung, online and offline, and punishment could top out at a maximum fine of $15,000 and expulsion from the NAR. You sign up for that? I'm sure you signed up to be a realtor because you wanted to buy and sell houses, primarily list houses. A lot of realtors don't buy and sell, they list houses. They bring buyers to the table. They bring sellers to the table. And now you are going to be judged 24/7. Wherever you are, whatever you do, any time of the day, any place, somebody has the opportunity to get you tossed out of the NAR or be given a $15,000 fine. Think how easy that could be. What if, let's say, little Johnny is in the Boy Scouts and you bring little Johnny to the Boy Scout meeting and the Boy Scouts, someone says, "Hey, Sheila, Boy Scouts are a bad organization. They don't like certain people. I don't think you should be bringing your child to the Boy Scouts." I'm going to have to tell the NAR that you're contributing to hate speech. Far-fetched? Far-fetched? Read it again. All communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and off. "Hey, Sheila, you're baking these cakes. What are they for?" "Oh, we're having a bake sale at the church." "Where's the money going?" "Well, the church has all these programs that it funds." I don't like that. I think that's hateful. I think that the funds should go here instead of there. I'm going to have to report you. Far-fetched? No. 24/7, covering all communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and off, with a fine of $15,000. "Hey, Sheila, I notice you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. I saw yesterday that you were celebrating. You weren't in Tuscaloosa, but in your neighborhood, you posted some pictures that showed you and your friends had gotten together and were having a party. And you took pictures and video, and I didn't see anybody with a mask. I'm going to have to report you because that could be considered a hate crime against me because I believe we all should be wearing masks." Sound far-fetched? Nope. All communication, 24/7, private and professional, written and spoken of, online and off. You see where I'm going here? Who's defining what hate speech is? God knows if we let Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube decide, you're not going to like that definition. It's not going to be something you're going to want to live with. And I'm not even going to show you the rest of the article because what is said in this article, you might consider hate speech. You might consider, hey, listen, Barry's talking about these agents and he's showing this woman's name and he's talking about how she reacted to this new regulation that the NAR is putting. I think Barry's doing some hate speech. I wonder if he talked to his wife, the realtor, about this. Because it doesn't matter when he talked to her. Doesn't matter if they talked in private. Doesn't matter if they talked in the bedroom. 24/7, all communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and off. And the knock on the door comes and says, you owe us $15,000 or forget being a realtor. What's happening, people? What in the absolute fuck is going on? Excuse my language. Well, what has happened? You're telling me that my wife who is a realtor, she and I talk about something that she has a strong opinion on. We talk about it privately. She posts a picture when she goes to visit her friends and family up in North Carolina. Who knows what they'll be doing? And it doesn't matter. 24/7, covering all communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and off. If I was a realtor, I'd be terrified. If I was a realtor, I would be really concerned about doing any marketing at all. Luckily, I'm not a realtor. But I digress. You're going to have to think about these things. You're really going to have to consider what the heck you're going to do when they come for you. Remember the song from the show Cops? And it was bad boys, what you going to do when they come for you, bad boys. Well, they're saying it right here. 24/7, all communication, private and professional, written and spoken, online and off. We've turned into a nation of squealers. No, we've turned into a nation of wussy squealers. Where if somebody wants to take you out, they're going to accuse you of hate speech. That nobody knows what it is. I remember there used to be a adage that went around when people talked about pornography and what was obscene. And a judge, might have been Thurgood Marshall, I'm not sure. Hey, how do you know what's pornography? Because I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. That's where we are. That's where we are. People don't know what hate speech is, but they know when they see it. And you could be someone that they string up because of something you said any time of the day, anywhere, private communication with your kids, your spouse, your family, online and off, a picture, a video, a podcast, anything that they don't like. People, we're in for a world of hurt. It's not because of one guy. You wait and see what happens. And now it's seeping into the real estate business. Make your money now.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So I'm probably going to catch a lot of hell for that last segment. I don't care. I think we're all adults here, and this is getting to be ridiculous. If someone's going to follow me around 24/7 and inhibit the conversations I have with my wife based upon something might offend you, let me just tell you right now. Yeah, right now. Let me just say it. Can't even say it out loud because somebody may report it, but you know what I'm saying. It's all about making a living, making some money. So let's talk about something in this last segment here, talk about the real estate market here in South Florida and what's going on. And so everyone says, Barry, you're too pessimistic. Well, after I see somebody want to hunt me down 24/7, how can I not be? But in any event, I keep telling people that there's a rash of foreclosures just waiting to be revealed. A bunch of shadow inventory that these people have been in forbearance agreements, moratoriums, modifications, all kinds of different things. There are landlords who haven't been able to evict their tenants, who haven't had paid rent for months and months and months, who are behind on mortgages as well. Nobody wants to talk about that. They just say, hey, the market's hot, smoking hot, it's doing great. Well, I told you. Go back and watch a video about a month ago. All my videos, I kept telling you, hey, listen, it's not that I have a crystal ball. It's not that, I know more than anybody else. I read data. Data. It's not a feeling, not a wonder. I read data. And data told me that there were 33,000 mortgages over 120 days past due just in this South Florida. Just from law of averages tells me, hey man, out of 33,000 FHA mortgages that are in delinquent 120 days or more in South Florida, law of averages tell you, hey, a good portion of those are going to be foreclosures. A good amount of those people aren't ever going to catch up or want to catch up. But everyone said, oh, you're being a naysayer. Well, it seems as though the market is catching up. This article showed up a couple days ago, and it says buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic about the housing market as COVID cases surge again. Bingo. Here we go again. It's like last February, last March. Now people are beginning to freak out. The transition of the administrations, nobody knows what's going to happen. Biden says we're all going to have to wear masks for 100 days. The economy is going to go to, telling you right now, boom. The economy is going to slow way down. People are going to lose jobs. People are going to not have the money that they've now been used to. At least here in South Florida, things are open. Hopefully DeSantis can put things at bay and keep us open, keep us working. But he's going to get tremendous pressure to shut things down here. Tremendous. I hope we don't see lockdowns here in South Florida. But, I'm telling you this right now. If we do see lockdowns down here, this is what's going to happen. I can tell you. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. What does the article say? The article says buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic about the housing market. Bingo! Money time, people. It's time to make some money. It's money time. Here we go. This is where we wanted to be. It's where I told you we were going to be. You think I'm lying? Go back and watch some of my older videos. I've done this probably 100 times, probably 100 shows where I've showed you over and over again this quote from Warren Buffett. And I said, be ready. Be ready. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. And right now, CNBC just said it. They just said, hey, listen, buyers and sellers are substantially, not a little bit, not small, substantially more pessimistic about the housing market as COVID cases surge again. So what we're seeing now is the news talking about COVID and COVID. I mean, I get an email from the Sun Sentinel every single day. 15,000 new cases, 20,000 new cases, 30,000 new cases. Yeah, one of them said 30,000. We're all going to die. It's just, there's no end to this. And you think it's bad now? Wait till you see what happens after January 20th. Wait till you see what happens when this stuff just goes crazy and there's cases everywhere and people are just dying and the cases are surging and, it's just going to fall off the cliff. And I don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. Be greedy. Get your money together, get your deals together, put this kind of stuff in your portfolio, show people, enhance, amplify the fear. Tell them, okay, people think, Barry, that's really bad. No, if I'm reading this article correctly, it said the percentage of survey respondents who said it was a good time to buy a home fell 5% from 57 down to 52, while the percentage who said it was a bad time to buy increased or up 4%, 39 to 35. More respondents said that they were concerned about keeping their jobs, and fewer said their household income had increased substantially. That's called fear. That's called, oh my God, what am I going to do? That's called, I don't know if I'm going to keep my job. I damn sure can't get a mortgage or put myself on the hook for that. And people are starting to see that it may not be a good time to buy. But Barry, mortgage rates are just unbelievably good, right? Well, yeah, they're 2s and 3s and stuff like that. But it doesn't really matter at this point. If the people are afraid to buy and they're becoming more increasingly afraid to buy, what do you think is going to happen? Especially when here in South Florida, we have so many people in potential foreclosure. I'm going to say potential right now, because the potential for people being in foreclosure is kind of high because we don't know, because so many people have their list pendants. So many people have been filed upon, but the foreclosure hasn't been executed. Again, be greedy when others are fearful. This article came directly from the Florida Department of Realtors, Florida Realtor Board. I'm going to put this up. Buyers and sellers more cautious as COVID cases spike. A monthly survey for December found market optimism dipping. It could be pandemic fatigue, a delay based on future vaccine hopes, or frustration over a lack of inventory. I don't care which one it is. The fact that people are being substantially pessimistic about the housing market tells me it's money time for us. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like the fact that we make money as investors because we buy properties primarily in distress, but we didn't create this problem. There's nothing we did to enhance a pandemic. What we did was see what happens, and now we have to make our moves, and we have to understand the data, and we have to understand what we need to do to profit on the data. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with profiting from this pandemic. I don't know, that's 24/7. I just said this, maybe someone's going to report it, but I'm not a realtor, so I can say that. Man, it's getting crazy out there, and it's getting crazier by the day. And at this point, I mean, I don't know where it's going to end, but what I do know is that we need to be prepared as investors. Watch the data, watch the stories. Some of it may be fake news, but it's causing its intended result. It's causing its intended result. And that intended result is exactly what this thing says. Buyers and sellers are substantially more pessimistic. As Warren said, be greedy when others are fearful. The housing market, just like stock markets, are directly influenced by fluctuations in the financial markets, the politics, depending on what's going on. There's a lot of volatility. And right now, what we're seeing is the beginning of people being really worried about the housing market. Is it strong? Yeah, it's really strong. I mean, it's smoking hot down here in South Florida. But I'm a person who likes to be where the puck is headed, not where it is now. And I've been telling you about this since October, to be ready. I mean, you can go back and look at the other videos. I said, come March and April, it's going to be money time. It's going to be absolute craziness down here. We're all going to be able and be in a position to make some serious money. Because in my estimation, based on data, I'm not relying on a crystal ball. I'm looking at my data. And based on my data, I think this thing is about to go off the rails. I think the train is about to just boom. Think I'm wrong? Start looking up some of these properties in the foreclosure database. Start looking up list pendencies. See what's happening. Now, what's going to make it worse is what people think is going to make it better. They're going to think, okay, this moratorium on foreclosures is going to let people skate. They're not going to have to be foreclosed on. People don't want to do that. They want to live their lives. They want to move on. There's going to be a lot of houses with equity with people who are 6 months behind in their mortgage who would rather have the cash to move on. They don't just want to squat. That's a few percentage of people. Most people are going to want to cash out and do something better with their lives, maybe move. So anyway, that's the show for today, guys. And I look forward to seeing where this goes, and hopefully we won't have people talking about what my wife and I post on social media and consider us hate speech. I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow, and we'll see, same time, 2:30.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.